Hello there, Trevor Starkey at Snarky Starkey on Twitter, and I'm going to talk today about a little game called IDARB. Going to be reading this one based on a piece I wrote on my IGN blog, so bear with me. Until about a week ago, if you'd asked me what I thought made a next-gen game, I probably would have said something about co-op gameplay or asymmetric multiplayer. That certainly seems to be what a lot of the AAA studios are banking on, at least. Games like Assassin's Creed Unity and Far Cry 4 both featured co-op multiplayer as a significant component of their games last year, although it did seem to cause a lot of the Assassin's Creed Unity launch problems, but that's beside the point. You also have 4v1 games like Evolve, Fable Legends, and Shadow Realms from BioWare in the pipeline as your more high-profile asymmetric multiplayer games. Now, as primarily a single player, none of these things really excite me all that much. I'd much rather, in all honesty, have all of those resources go into games that I can enjoy in the comfort of my own solitude. But then, this game, #IDARB, surprised the hell out of me. Well, maybe not at first. My introduction to the game came from an IGN review by Mitch Dyer, and it's probably my own biases showing, but I'm a little more reticent towards a game when I just haven't heard anything about it prior to launch, prior to the review popping up. I don't really follow esports, though, so maybe this was probably on a lot of other people's radar just before it hit mine. No big deal. And the video review certainly looked like a fun game. A fast-paced platforming soccer-type game with pixel graphics. Cool, I thought, but that was probably about it. Sports games are right up there with multiplayer for me. I can admire them from afar, but I don't really have the urge to play them myself all that much. So next, I caught wind that IDARB was going to be the Xbox One Game with Gold for February. Now, I think PlayStation Plus knocks games with games with gold out of the park, but I figured hey, it's a free game, so I might as well pick it up just in case I ever do decide to get back into couch co-op. Then I saw the former IGNers and now kind of funny guys, Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty, Tim Geddes, and Nick Scarpino, playing the game on one of their Let's Plays. And they're not big Xbox One people, so they didn't even have enough controllers for anything more than a 1v1 tournament, which I found amusing myself because I only have the one controller myself. But watching that half-hour Let's Play that they put up is pretty amazing because you get to see a complete 180 in how they approach the game. They kind of went in not having any idea what the game was about, and throughout the course of their experience, they are eager and dying to get their hands on more controllers by the end of the Let's Play to have 4v4 matches in their future Let's Plays. So that was a lot of fun to watch. And their interplay immediately was making me reminisce of the days when I'd play GoldenEye or Super Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart with my core group of friends that I'd had from elementary to early high school before we all started going our separate ways. So this quirky, fast-paced soccer-like game was making me feel the most video game-related nostalgia I've felt in years, which surprised me. But nothing about that experience made me really think next gen. At best, I thought, alright, this is incredibly clever and fun multiplayer game. So maybe I'll download it and play some online 1v1 matches, who knows. And as I'm downloading the game to my Xbox One, I discover that it does have a small single-player campaign where you can play through matches of increasing difficulty, and the game gives you more and more teammates, so you do end up kind of playing 4v4 matches against the computer and with the computer. That whole campaign of maybe 30-ish matches burned through in a night. And that was when the first glimmers of next gen started shining through. Because up to this point, all the matches I'd seen had been pretty straightforward. Fast-paced, back and forth, sure, but no real bells and whistles, nothing to kind of stand out above the crowd. But then IDARB starts messing with my game. The lights would go down on the screen in the middle of a match, a jump scare would pop up on my screen and say boo, or the arena would flood with water, weird things like that. And eventually I started to notice that the little Twitter feed that kind of scrolls along the bottom of the game seemed connected to this. The game itself was throwing in hashtags to screw with me. And then I noticed a little hashtag code up in the corner of my match and the Twitter handle @IDARBWire. I thought, as I grabbed my phone. I was very far ahead in the match at this point, so I figured I could take some time and perform a little experiment and tweet the iDarb wire with that hashtag. And sure enough, Snarky Starky goes scrolling across the in-game feed. And I saw some people elsewhere typing hashtag achievement in, so I tried adding that to the next tweet, and what do you know? Get a little bloop, pop-up achievement to add to my abysmal little gamer score. Now, I play most things on PlayStation. I skipped the Xbox 360 generation, so my game score is pathetic. But this helped a little bit. Yay! So I tried, how about hashtag flood? And holy crap, Twitter is messing with my game. My screen floods, and my characters and the other players start floating around the screen. How had this not come up in the kind of funny video? Oh yeah, they weren't connected to the internet. And that led to a nice little pre-programmed faux Twitter feed in lieu of the real thing. Also very funny, so if you ever are playing the game offline, you'll get that little extra bit of comedy. So they had completely missed out on these so-called hash bombs, where the hashtags are kind of messing with your game. Had the IGN review mentioned this? Maybe, but since I wasn't really interested in the game, I probably wasn't paying close enough attention. That's pretty cool, but I don't know how much this is going to come in handy for me. It's not like I'm going to be playing friends, let alone taking time out of the match to tweet anytime soon to mess with anybody. But finally, yesterday, my mind was blown as I sat in on a Nerdist Twitch stream of the game. Things started out pretty standard. They were just playing some simple 2v2 setup, and the game was pretty low-key. They were kind of feeling out the game and learning it. And then some of the people in the chat started tweeting a variety of the hash bombs along with the match hashtags for the Nerdist team's match. So they were wreaking havoc for the players. And eventually somebody in the chat told the Nerdist guys how to link the game to the Nerdist Twitch stream itself. And that is when all hell broke loose. You want to talk about asymmetric gameplay? This wasn't 4v1. In that moment, iDarb went from a 2v2 game to a 1,000-plus v4 game as the stream that I was in devolved into a flurry of hash bombs to throw the players off their games. Oh, you guys hate it when we switch up the controls on you? Well, hashtag reverse, hashtag reverse, hashtag reverse. Oh, you don't want to be rickrolled again? Well, hashtag Ricky. It just ended up being a lot of fun to poke and prod them. Suddenly, everything was pretty clear. iDarb is the game for Let's Plays and Twitch streams because it gives the audience a direct impact on how streams play out. It changes the dynamic from a mostly passive players and the audience to a rowdy, anarchic players versus the audience feel. iDarb is a game that allows people to unleash their inner or outer troll, but without the vitriol normally found in things like YouTube comments. This is the game, in my mind, built for next-gen, the Twitch era of gaming, and I, for one, can't wait to play it with my favorite Twitch personalities or drop into complete strangers' Twitch streams to wreak havoc, wreak some harmless havoc before bouncing off to another channel. Hashtag iDarb elevates esports beyond mere spectator sport, and I can't wait to see how other developers build upon this dynamic in the future. So those are my thoughts on iDarb. A lot of fun, great little experience, and as I said, it opens up a whole new world in how gamers can interact with each other that I look forward to seeing what seeds this is planting for games in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years. So those are my thoughts on iDarb. As always, I'm Trevor at Snarky Starky on Twitter. Let me know what you thought. If you've played iDarb or if you've taken part in any of these Twitch streams where you've wreaked havoc, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thanks. As always, keep gaming and be good to each other.